Update. My ex divorced me and now wants to be together again after 4 years. Original post. Throwaway since I don't want to be linked back to my main account. I'm 46 female and my ex-husband is 45. We were college sweethearts and married at 26. Right before we got married, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter who's now 21 years old. I love them both dearly, and we've been a happy family for about 16 years before everything went down. Our only problem was my ex's mother. She always had a strong dislike for me. She never thought I was good enough for her baby boy. We had many fights, and my ex cut contact with her after the wedding when she tried wearing white to it. We had many encounters with her years after that, sending us gifts for my daughter and purposely trying to get us to contact her again to seeing her outside of her house. 4 years ago, I got home from work to see my ex and his mom together on the couch. My ex was on the verge of tears, yelling and calling me a cheater. I tried to explain I didn't, but his mother supposedly had proof, saying she saw me with another man in a restaurant together. I'm very faithful and loyal, but he refused to hear me out. We got into a big argument before he packed up and left to stay with his mother. When my daughter got home from a friend's house, she too started to blame me when she found out from her dad. She went to live with her dad while he sent out divorce papers. It took about a year before it was finalized. He got custody of her and I was granted visitation rights, but she never wanted to see me. It took a long time to move on. I seek therapy and fell into a huge depression. I knew my ex's mother made it up to tear us apart. I can't believe he listened to her so carelessly. I don't blame my daughter, but it still hurts. I moved out of the house to allow my ex and my daughter to live there. I ended up moving to a small apartment. It's been 4 years and I started to finally be happy again. I made new friends, we had so much fun, and I got a promotion at work. I still miss my family, my daughter, but I couldn't do anything about it. 2 days ago, my daughter called me. It's been 4 years since I've last seen or heard from her. She said that my ex's mother admitted to lying. She said that my ex got a new girlfriend, and his mother was furious, claiming he shouldn't have had one after all the trouble that she did to get rid of me. They got into a heated fight before he kicked his mom out. I nearly wanted to cry. I thought she would never admit to it, and now I'm hearing my daughter. She asked to meet up and apologized so many times. I told her we could meet tomorrow. Yesterday I met her at a restaurant, but she brought along my ex, something she never mentioned, nor have I agreed upon. He was apologizing, saying how much he missed me and that he dumped his girlfriend. He wanted us to be together again. I excused myself and left them there. I got back home to lots of phone calls from my daughter and text messages from her. She wanted us to talk and she called me an asshole for leaving. I told her I wasn't comfortable and that she needed to understand. I had to mute my phone and put it down for a bit. I haven't responded yet, and I'm not sure what to do. I love her, but I can't talk to her with him there. Not yet, anyway. It feels so fast. I wanted to do it one-on-one. I'm deeply hurt and crying as I'm typing this. I don't know what to do. Edit. I did not expect this post to start blowing up. I appreciate the love and support. However, I didn't make it clear about my daughter's custody. Her opinion mattered in court since she was 17 during the divorce. Although the divorce was about me allegedly cheating, my ex and I agreed to keep that apart from the actual divorce process. Split what we needed to split and let our daughter choose who she wanted to be with. She wanted to live with her dad and I agreed. She was strongly adamant about not seeing me, so I allowed my ex to have full custody, leaving me with visitations. Not only that, I needed to find an apartment. I had to move out of the house. I was living off couch to couch in my relatives' homes. I didn't have space for her and my ex mentioned it in court. It was the main reason why she was granted to stay with her father. I was under stress and I was not mentally well. I signed off my rights. I looked like a mess in court too. There was also a lot more going on during the time. Now for the updates. Update 1. Hi, within the past 2 days a lot of stuff came out and I'm beat. First of all, thank you for the support and advice. There were so many, but I decided to follow the ones that I thought fit best for me and my daughter. In the last post I mentioned in the comments about an update. 2 days ago I texted my daughter to set some boundaries after the ambush attack at the restaurant. As we were talking, she mentioned new information about my ex and why he chose his mother's side over me. Earlier that morning, his mother confessed that she had paid an ex-friend of ours to lie directly to my ex-husband's face, claiming to be my affair partner. Mind you, I never had cheated in the first place. My ex took that as a solid evidence and divorced me because of it. His mother is a master manipulator and had him around her finger throughout his childhood, so I'm not surprised why he'd take her side. He didn't know that the confession was fake until a few days ago. I wasn't aware of the entire thing for 4 years. No one had brought it up to me. My daughter gave me the silent treatment. My ex's mother obviously wouldn't tell a thing to me and probably told my ex-husband to keep quiet and to only focus on the divorce. I'm still really saddened, but everything makes sense. I was so mad at him for leaving me over her word, but it was much more than that. Besides that, I decided to give my daughter another chance. She will not know where I live or any personal information to indicate where I am. I'm keeping low contact on her. I don't want her spreading it to her father or other people. I'll only show up during important events, graduation, weddings, etc. I know my ex-husband will also attend. If that's the case, then so be it. I requested my daughter to put her father on the phone. He, of course, apologized so many times and hoped that we could have another chance as well. He said he'd do anything to make it up and that he loves me. I said no. I explained that I was keeping him no contact and that I was heartbroken when he didn't communicate to me about the cheating allegations and only assumed that I was practically homeless for a short time and needed to see a therapist to move on, that I wanted to be left alone and currently not interested in another relationship. Then I gave him a new email in case of emergencies directly involving our daughter. Anything else I will discard. That was the only time I spoke to him in the past 2 days. I've been talking to my daughter, setting boundaries and whatnot. She gave me small updates about what was going on with her side. They went no contact with my ex's mother, so that's good. I told her never to contact that woman again. She also apologized about her behavior at the restaurant and that it won't happen again. I understand that emotions were running high and everyone was tensed. I forgave her. I still really love her. Mistakes can happen. Now, a lot of you said to sue my ex's mother. I spoke to my therapist about it earlier today. She said it wasn't a wise thing to do. It'll put more emotional distress on me and that I might have to see her again and may relapse into a depressive state. I really don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that woman again. All I want to do is focus on myself and on my daughter. I want to rebuild our relationship, and it will be ruined if I do something drastic, as in suing my ex's mother. I won't be pressing charges unless something else happens to the point where police are involved. That would be different. Other than that, I'm taking a break. My daughter can text me anytime that she wants, but I did say that I may not always reply since I want to remain low contact as of now. Thank you so much for the love and support. I can't express how grateful I am. I'm sorry I haven't replied to any of the comments. There was so much and it was very overwhelming. This may be my last ever post on this account unless something happens in the near future. You guys are amazing and thank you. Update 2. I honestly don't even know if this is still relevant. I was originally about to delete my account but kept it for a final update. After this, I will be gone. For the update, it's been a roller coaster. My daughter had posted her side of the events, which I did not realize how crappy the post really was until you guys pointed it out. We decided to speak about that more in family therapy and she apologized for it. She logged out of the account and isn't using it anymore. I'm paying for her family therapy and individual therapy. I said that as long as she goes to school full time, I will be financially supporting it. I think we have grown a lot in therapy. It's only been a few months and we're supposed to express our feelings about the other judging. About my ex-mother-in-law. A month prior, she got arrested for drug possession. I literally have no clue what happened on her end, but my daughter messaged me about it. From what I could gather, she got caught up with drugs in her home and she is still behind bars. No one bailed her out. I chuckled when I found out. It was a pleasant surprise. About my ex-husband. I know he's been spiraling, and I think after his mother got arrested, he snapped. He started getting drunk and verbally aggressive towards my daughter. It's been happening for roughly 2 months, so I requested that my daughter would live with me since I do not feel comfortable with his behavior. I was right, since his verbal aggression turned into physical abuse. He hit my daughter. While he went to work, I came to the house. It was so emotional. Not many things were changed except no family photos, and the furniture was rearranged. I helped my daughter pack all of her things, along with important documents, and we fled. I turned my office area into her bedroom, and she's been staying with me for a week now. I've been driving her to school, and now this week is her last before she's out for summer break. It was awkward at first. I wanted to keep low contact with her, but I couldn't let her be abused and have the police do very little about it. We made a report, but I don't think much will be done about it. My daughter and I have been doing little things at my home, watching TV together, driving her to school, and preparing meals for her. We're going slow, but we're bonding, and our relationship is growing. She's a lot quieter nowadays. She used to be so outgoing, but I know this is taking a toll on her. I'm glad she's willing to be in therapy. I suspect she has depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Safe to say it's a happy ending. Thank you so much for this journey. I desperately needed the support which has been received. Also, please don't send death threats to my daughter. I already saw many comments speaking poorly about her, but it came to the point where some are sending death threats. It's so awful and ridiculous. That's not supportive towards my end, and it's gross behavior towards my daughter and in general. Shame on you. Other than that, I appreciate the advice. I'll be deleting my account in a few days or so. Thank you and goodbye. Story 2. My stepmom believes I break into their house when they are away or sleeping. For several years now, about 7 or 8, I've barely been able to visit my father, who lives with my stepmom about 30 minutes away. I thought they didn't like me because I am very different from the rest of the family. I am queer, nerdy, artistic, and open-minded. Or like a friend said, shameless, warm-hearted, poet-philosopher with issues, and who doesn't think gender should determine her love. So I just did the best I could and honestly didn't mind so much, since me and my family have little in common. I was still sometimes a little sad that my sisters were invited to stay and I wasn't. Then last Christmas, I'm visiting my sister. She asked me to go for a walk, and we do. We talk about all the things that she can't with her family, like crushes, video games. Then she drops the bomb. The reason my stepmother is avoiding me is because she believes that I break into their home when they are away or sleeping, specifically to move around and take her sentimental items. I was so shocked I didn't even know what to say. Sure, I stole a scented eraser and I feel immensely guilty and returned it when I was 8. I have never really taken anything since then. I even asked for permission to take an apple from their fridge. I am a goody two-shoes. I can point to a couple of misunderstandings, but other than that, she has no reason to believe that I would want to steal stuff. They live in a very high-tech electronic door lock. I do not have a key. Also, how would I know what in particular is her sentimental stuff? My dad is an I should keep his loot goblin. The only resentment that I have towards my stepmother is that she is very confrontational about stuff. And that can be very hard for someone with PTSD, me. But even so, I would never harm her and wish her health, wealth, and happiness. She is odd, but sweet in her own way, and a great grandmother for my niece. But yeah, you see, I am nerdy and own a computer, so yes, of course I can hack. I barely know how to put a link in Discord. I also repaired her phone once, fixed the language setting. So of course I can hack their lock and security system. I talked it out with my father. He believes in me, but he lives with his wife every day. She has been friends with my family since she was a teenager and used to babysit my oldest cousins as babies. They share their faith and their lives now that they are both retired and everything. He tries to stand up for me as much as he can without making her upset, trying to help her find the lost items and finding safer locations for them. But there is no way he can prove to her that I haven't done it. He could set up cameras with timestamps, but I could hack them too, and I could provide cell phone data but have left my phone at home. So I have kind of just realized that this is how it's going to be. It was my father's birthday 2 days ago, a jubilee. I wasn't invited. It isn't like I actually want to sit there bored out of my mind for hours listening to old men talk about Jesus. Disclaimer, I have nothing against Jesus, but it is a little hard hearing how great he was from the old men who doesn't understand the religion at all, and in the next sentence says I'm going to hell because of my ex-girlfriend. I just wish it didn't have to come to this. My father just invited me and my 2 sisters for a private birthday dinner. It helps, just us 3 sisters and him, and that's going to be nice. You know what the worst thing is? I should be angry, and I am, but mostly I just feel really bad for my stepmom. It must be horrible feeling like that all the time. Super international mega hacker spy Tempest. Edit 1. It is stepmom, not stepmom. English is hard. Edit 2. My father has said he is handling it. I don't know what this means. They are private and proud people, and it isn't my prerogative to invade in all their self-righteousness and demand her to be tested when it might just be her dealing with anxiety or paranoia. Demanding her being tested is just going to turn me into the bad guy. I gotta trust my dad to know her and what he is doing. Edit 3. As a high-tech super spy, I am going for your left sock next. Edit 4. My stepmom is in her mid-late 60s. I am not a trained professional, so it isn't up to me to diagnose her. I do not think it is Alzheimer's, as my stepfather died of Alzheimer's related issues 2 years ago, so I have seen it up close. She would have other symptoms by now. This has been happening for at least 7 years. Also, carbon monoxide would affect my father too, and it would abate when they go for their vacation home every 2 weeks. Edit 5. I am very grateful for all of your support and for your graceful acceptance at my coping mechanism jokes and trying to look on the bright side. I think I have answered most of you. I was advised by my body that unless I go to bed, it will be severely miffed with me. I will come back and answer anything more once my brain stops making up anxiety scenarios in my dreams. Thank you. Now for the advice. About 12 years ago, my parents had me install a security system, including cameras, because someone was breaking into our house and stealing and moving things. I asked what was missing, and it was stuff like the lid to this Tupperware container or one of my gloves. Not the kind of things a thief would target except in the mind of a dementia. Yabbit said, if you have convinced yourself that I break in to move their third best china set that she inherited from her father, that I didn't know that they had, then she is going to convince herself it isn't her on the film, but me wearing a mask, or that I doctored the film. You see, I removed a crane in a picture in the Photoshop once. You can't reason once they have decided you are the bad guy. Story 3. My ex-wife's affair partner she ended our marriage for 15 years ago died suddenly this morning. For what it's worth, we co-parent a daughter we had mostly repaired our relationship insofar as getting along fine and working together. I had left the past in the past and have treated her with nothing but respect to her face and in front of our daughter. But during that 15-year span, I had spoken maybe 2 sentences to the guy and had just 1 in-person interaction with him because I despised him due to past events. I had fantasized in the past about beating the shit out of him in the event we actually were in close proximity, at least for the first few years. But generally, I didn't pay any attention to what they had going on and was content to live and let live. He had a daughter with my ex-wife, my daughter's half-sister, and I've tried to be friendly towards her and treat her with kindness despite the situation that led to her existence. If you had told me this was where the entire story ended 15 years ago, I may have viewed it as karmic justice. After getting the news today, I realized I just felt horrible for my ex-wife and for his daughter who now is grown up without a father. Despite my feelings, I never would have wished this on him, nor the fallout that is now going to be experienced for my ex-wife. I told her that if she needed my help with anything to let me know. I told my daughter to give her mom a hug and her sister a hug if they needed one. Feelings are complicated and not altogether as black and white as you may imagine they will be given such a raw situation. My life was turned upside down 15 years ago due to the actions of this man and my ex-wife. Now, 15 years later, he is dead and my ex-wife's life is turned upside down, and I feel sad for her and her other daughter. It is such a surreal feeling to be in a position where you feel the need to comfort the person who cheated on you because the person she cheated on with has died. I don't know what I need to be posting here, but I'm surprised by myself today by my own feelings and reaction towards this situation. Edit: I went to sleep after posting this. Thank you for all the kind and unkind comments. I will take the time to respond where I can, but as there are so many, I wanted to address a couple of things. There is no chance I will be rebounding with my ex. I have a partner and a relationship of my own. I spoke to my partner about these feelings as well, and she feels sorry for the same reasons, but she has more anger towards my ex than I do. I don't have any romantic feelings towards my ex at all, so my feelings for her aren't based on that, but just on sharing a daughter. I do still maintain a friendly relationship with my ex's mother-in-law because I'm often picking up my daughter up for karate classes, and it is the mother-in-law who reached out to me first about this situation. I have dinner with them sometimes, and for the sake of my daughter, I have done my best to keep a nice, cordial relationship with my ex. But there is and has been a line, and I'm not flirty or anything with my ex. As far as why I hold the affair partner more at fault than my ex-wife, he took advantage a couple of months after my father-in-law passed away for her being upset. I was taking night classes at the time, so while I was at school, he was coming over to my house and made a move. I gave her a little bit of understanding because she was dealing with a lot of grief at the time. So whether I'm right or wrong about that, and it isn't an excuse, I do understand if the reason she cheated was because of what else was going on in her life. Thank you all again for the thoughts, and I will respond more later today once I'm at work. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.